What?
Well, the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic may be over, but pandemics are not over. And according to this latest news, bird flu can be the latest pandemic out there.
See?
I'm going to ask you a question here, Schehzad. When was the first time you heard of bird flu?
In Pakistan.
Long time ago.
Yeah, when we couldn't eat chickens. That was a very depressing part of my life.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
Something like that, right? Because at that time, the virus was moving from animal to animal, from different birds within each other. Then there are birds that are kept captive, and then there are birds that are wild birds, and it spreads from the captive birds, the cage birds, to the wild birds, and that's how it spread. Now, what is happening right now is the virus has mutated.
The bird flu virus.
The bird flu virus has mutated, and it has jumped from one species to another species. And according to the latest, it's got 100% fatality rate in cats. And there have been 3 confirmed human cases, and this could be our next pandemic. And it's jumping from one species to another species, meaning it has jumped from birds to cattle and to humans. And there's like so much that is to talk about when it comes to bird flu or pandemics, that the latest diseases that are coming out are actually viruses and pathogens that are moving from animals to humans, as in COVID-19. It's a virus that has jumped from bats to humans.
As an HIV?
HIV has jumped from bats to humans.
Well, from primates, from monkeys.
Oh yes, what I meant to say, from animals to humans. And there is a lot of examples like this where these viruses are actually mutating in a way that they can now jump from animals to humans. First of all, you need to limit your exposure, unprotected exposure to sick or dead animals. It could be birds, poultry, and other domesticated birds. And it also applies to wild or domesticated animals, including cattle, raw milk, feces, litter, or materials contaminated by birds or other animals with confirmed or suspected bird flu. What to avoid: undercooked chicken and rare steak. They still haven't mentioned sushi in it. But according to World Health Organization, the world must prepare for a H5N1 pandemic. This is the bird flu pandemic.
Way.
This is the World Health Organization
That was
coming
20 years ago, the H5N1.
Yes, but it has been around. It has been around, and now it has mutated to this point that it is jumping to cattle. It has already jumped to cattle. In the US, there have been cases that it is jumping from cattle to birds and from birds to cattle. It has jumped to cats as well, and with cats, it's got 100% fertility rate. FDA warns 25% kill rate in this new virus. So they're talking about the bird flu vaccine that a country in the world has started actually already taking. And the reason for that is that with humans, it is coming to a 25% kill rate.
Oof.
So 1 in 4 Americans who are going to contact this virus, bird flu, H5N1, are going to die. And bird flu, known more formally as avian influenza, has long hovered on the horizons of scientists' fears. And this pathogen, especially the H5N1 strain, hasn't often infected humans. But when it has, 56% of those known to have contacted it have died. And its inability to spread easily, if at all, from one person to another has kept it from causing a pandemic. And what has happened as of recently, things are changing. The virus, which has long caused outbreaks among poultry, is infecting more and more migratory birds, allowing it to spread more widely, even to various mammals, raising the risk that the new variant could spread to and among people. We could get lucky. We haven't had bird flu outbreaks before without human spread, but it seems foolish to count on that. This time, we have not just the warning, but also many of the tools we need to fend a pandemic off. We should not wait until it's too late. And here is a map of the US that I'm going to share with you guys right now that talks about where this pandemic has actually spread. And this bird flu in the United States, and this is the H5N1 bird flu detections across the US. And this could be a backyard, or this could be a commercial poultry farm.
Where's Houston?
Let's look at Texas.
I just want to make sure that I'm okay.
Right now, I don't think we're seeing anything in Houston. Probably we're seeing stuff in Dallas. It is still very much concentrated in all those bird farms up there.
I see.
The former CDC director predicts the bird flu virus will cause the next pandemic. That's him there. I really do think it's very likely that we will at some time, and it's not a question of if, it's more of a question of when we'll have a bird flu pandemic, according to this latest report.
Wow.
How do you feel about it?
I want to ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
How do you think the world will end? All we know, everything we know, all species. I suppose cockroaches will survive to tell the story. But how do you think?
It's not that I don't know or I don't want to predict. It's that I don't really care. I'm sorry. I do care about the environment. I do care about the planet. I don't want it to end.
Yeah, but Leena, the world is going to hell in a handbasket. We just might as well enjoy the ride.
Exactly. That's the reason I don't care how it's going to come to an end. It's going to be either AI or it's going to be a pandemic.
I think AI, nay. I don't think it's going to be AI. I think it's going to be us creating a virus or just some mutation kind of thing that results as a...
So what they're saying is that because human beings are consuming so much meat, there are so many of these farms out there. And these farms where these animals are kept crammed up, that spreads diseases. It's not easy to find out all the dead hens.
Oh, it's inhumane. This animal husbandry and this way of animal husbandry.
I mean, it is, but that's not the only thing that it's inhumane. It's inhumane for sure, but it's spreading diseases because of all the, the fecal matter that stays there in those small little cages where these animals are kept. So diseases spread easily. And in order to control those diseases, we feed them antibacterial, like a low level of antibiotics all the time to keep the diseases away. So what happens? These viruses and these pathogens and this bacteria, they become resistant to those antibacteria and antiviral medication. We in turn eat them. And we are consuming flesh of animals that have developed a resistance against these bacteria and viruses. So when we eat them, then these medications are not going to work on us either. I rest my case. And hanging out with these animals, I mean, people who actually work with these animals, they are the ones who are, spending time with them. They catch these diseases. Many of these viruses have started off in like a fresh market or a bazaar where, these animals are out in the open and humans catch them and they spread them. So, do we all stop eating meat? Is that the solution here? No, that's not possible.
No, of course not. Please,
That's not possible.
give me an alternative.
The only alternative is enjoy the ride.
Yep.
Life is like a journey on a train with two fellow travelers on each window pane.
Oof.
I may sit beside you all the journey through, or I may sit elsewhere, never knowing you. Should fate mark me to sit by your side, let's be pleasant travelers, just short a ride. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I remember back in 1998 when I started doing radio, this used to be my outro.
Who is that?
I have no idea.
That's you?
No, I read
No,
it
it's
somewhere.
you.
It's
It's
an
you.
inspiration. It's an inspiration. And I read it somewhere and I loved it and I've kept it along.
Enjoy the ride.